Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak, and here I am to finish off the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of October 18th. We are now sitting on Wednesday, and I got a haircut, so I straightened my hair if you're wondering. Yeah, I'm still Aurora here. But anyway, so I wanted to just come on real quick and finish off what I was doing. I do have to leave soon, but I really wanted to get this recorded because there's a lot of important information that needs to come through. I'm now more grounded. We hit our peak full moon today at I think it was just at like around 11 a.m. So we're coming out of that energy now, and I'm really feeling it. And like cutting my hair is a big part of it, because it's like, you know, letting go like of what isn't serving me, and our hair holds a lot of our trauma. So there's a whole shebang there with the hair as well. So I listened to my last video, just the last few minutes, just to kind of see where I left off. And I was talking about remembering who we are and which chakras are getting activated. So I'm just going to start right off where I left off. And then what I will do is, if you haven't watched the first part, which is me last night at 10 o'clock recording it, then check that out first and then hop on and start this video. So again, these are timeless readings. So if you happen to find this video and it's past this week, then that's no problem. They're timeless, so meaning that your energy will kind of acclimate to whatever it is. It'll resonate with what I'm saying, and then that's why you'll be drawn to it. So even though I'm titling it for the week, it's not like set in stone, okay? Okay, so I'm really just gonna get into it. So remembering who we are. So we're having from our solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. These are all being activated at this time. And this is due to, it really starts with our solar plexus, and then our solar plexus kind of opens up our throat chakra. And in order for us to properly open up our throat, we have to allow that energy to go through our heart. And our heart is where we hold a lot of our pain and our trauma in the sense of emotions, right? And so you're going to have to go through a lot of emotional turmoil in order to really get to your truth, because it's painful, right? And so we kind of are breaking through the limitations of our heart and the pain and suffering of our heart, so that we're able to really be authentic, sorry, that was fun, be authentic in our lives. Oops, I keep kicking the tripod. Right, so that we can learn to be authentic in our lives, and that comes with realizing where we're not authentic. And so that is really where like uncovering all the heart stuff is gonna kind of break us through into this new reality of like being in alignment with our power, with our heart, and with our truth. And so while these are all getting activated together, then there's also this higher spiritual understanding that's being activated in all of our fields. And we just came out of Jupiter and Mercury retrograde, and so that has caused a lot of like rickety energy, like resistant energy. And so we're kind of coming out of that, and like I'm getting really big messages for the end of the year that like there's going to be a full completion of a lot of cycles. So we have from now until the end of the year to like really purge what isn't serving us, and to really let go of those aspects, and gain clarity on like our own personal journey and our own personal path. So yeah, so that's all the chakras being activated. And again, this is all about remembering who we are, right? And so this is tapping into, and that's why it's solar plexus, right? Because it's like, well, who am I, right? I hear the classic you know, condescending thing people say of like, when you want to change the world, or you want to do something that's, you know, thinking big, and they're like, who do you think you are? Or maybe you're just like making a joke, or you're doing this or you're doing that, but in your lifetime, really, I want you to like go into that belief of somebody saying to you, who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are to do whatever you think you're gonna do? And I am always like, I'm Aurora motherfucking Stefrak, so I don't know who you are thinking that you're gonna tell me what I'm doing with my world. And that's why I am me, and I am able to access these authentic feelings, because I've always just carried that, I wouldn't even call it confidence, but like that knowing in myself of like my truth of who I am. And that's not to say I didn't veer off of the path, but it is to say that I did always have that, you know, solidarity of me and knowing who I am, and knowing whether or not like what I was being involved in was serving me or wasn't. Now that's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to take the action and actually move through it, right? And so that's kind of what I've been doing for the last few years, of like being able to shuffle through all my shit and figure out like what's serving me, what's not. And like, so wherever you're at in your journey and your path, whatever needs to come up right now is going to really be prominent, right? And like, we're going to have like anxiety and physical symptoms because our body's just trying to get our attention, to say, hey, like, wake up, you got to give attention here, or some, like, you're out of balance is all it's saying. Like, give attention here because you're out of balance, give attention here because you're out of balance, right? So that's kind of like the rundown on all the chakras and like what's going to be activated. And if you're wondering, well, what's going on with our lower chakras? Like, well, they are where we hold all of our super dense trauma, right? In our base chakra and in our sacral chakra. And so right now, the reason that we're not focusing on those chakras is because we are gaining our power, we are purifying our heart, we are speaking our truth, we're connecting to our third eye and our spiritual understanding, and we're opening up to the infinite, to the cosmic energy that we all have access to. So the reason that we're really activating these chakras right now is because these lower chakras, this is where all your pain and all your suffering and all of your really intense human experiences are stored, right? And so in order for us to really be able to clear these lower chakras, like, I am being guided to guide you guys to strengthen your higher chakras, right? And to be able to access source energy, pure source energy, and your higher self and spirit and source, and to be able to actually understand it and to comprehend it and to be able to see that higher perspective, right? And that's through like opening up your mind, opening up your third eye, and through being able to connect to your truth, to your authenticity, to your integrity, right? And then from here is like unpacking all of the walls, like taking down all the walls that you've built up over time. It was just 7:07 on the time, if that means anything to you guys. So like, what has kind of built up in your heart over time, right? And so you've created certain behaviors or emotional patterns or mental patterns to keep that part of yourself safe when it's time to kind of break through them and kind of open yourself up, open your heart up, right? To more love, to the pain that you've experienced, to the suffering, to the grief, all of it. And that comes with this holistic way of healing. Like, we don't just get the positive, we have to understand the negative, because in order to turn a negative into a positive, we have to be able to understand the negative, right? And so that's kind of the process here. And then our solar plexus, this is all about our power center, right? And so this is like how we show up in the world, how we perceive ourselves, where we're taking action, where we feel like we're worthy or not, where we feel like we can actually attain the things that we want to. Or maybe you have like these certain fears that are holding you back in this area, like you're afraid to be seen, you're afraid to share your light, you keep yourself small because you've been hurt in the past and you're afraid to open up again, right? And then that's kind of connecting these two together, the heart and the solar plexus in that scenario, right? And so like really being able to attune to your body, like that's what's really going to help you to be able to move through these next phases that are coming up, because what is happening around us, and I can't remember everything that I said on my last video, so if I repeat myself, I'm sorry, but it was just meant to be said again. So as we have our external reality crumbling around us, we are going to need a very strong internal foundation, okay? So like, that's why it's so important right now to be looking at your wounds, looking at your traumas, looking at things that are needing attention is really what it comes down to. It's like these are the things that are holding you back in all the ways, and even in the emotional and the mental stability, right? And so if we can learn how to listen and how to communicate with our body and how to understand, our reality in a more unified way, where it's like, okay, cool, so I understand, like, 1, I'm not the victim, 2, I'm going to take responsibility for my shit, and 3, like, I'm ready to change. Like, that's it. Like, when you're ready to change, when you can take responsibility, and when you're just kind of sick of dealing with the same shit, this is when magic happens, because only extreme energy moves, right? So if we're neutral, if we're like, oh yeah, okay, it's fine, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna just keep doing what we always do and it'll be okay, like whatever, da 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 da, there comes to a point where you can't do that anymore, right? There comes to a point where you're going to be breaking down every day, or you just can't. When you're not living in alignment with your life, it becomes very apparent. And look at the sun shining now. It becomes very apparent, right? And so like, I'm here to kind of just show you the road, like show you and say, hey, like nothing's wrong with you. Like you're worthy, you're everything that you can ever dream of. And the universe is just waiting for you to realize that yourself, right? And how do I know? Because dude, like I have the same path as everyone else of being a human and finding my purpose and figuring my shit out. Luckily, I get to help other people find their purpose, and I say luckily, but not everybody would want to do that, right? That's just what I find, where I find my passion, right? And so it's really about like just tapping in and, you know, back to remembering who you are and like what lights you up and all the different things and what drains you, and just start saying no to that. Like just start putting boundaries up. Okay, and then real quick, I have 0 point grounding. So 0 point grounding is when we are grounding in through our heart, basically. When we aren't grounding into just the earth, we are actually learning to ground into our own heart, into our own 0 point frequency. And so this allows for us to actually open up into multidimensional realities, because we're able to activate our Merkaba, or our light body, and we're actually able to navigate our reality from the inside, and being able to go to different places within the universe, within time and space, because now the 5th dimension is all about learning how to manipulate time and space, right? But in order for you to have that power, the universe says, well, hey, you have to be responsible. You have to realize your own field and how you affect the whole universe, right? So it's kind of a big responsibility, right? And so that's why humans are in this process of really learning and understanding that responsibility. And it's on our own individual timelines, which then, as each of us on our individual timelines expand and grow, we're going to be creating the collective timeline, right? And that's kind of the whole idea of all of this like humanity awakening and stuff, right? Is so that we can access more life, more harmony, more purity, more love, more tranquility, more all of these higher energy, access our bliss body. Like, I don't even know if you know, hey, it's 12:12 there. I don't even know if you know, but we have a bliss body. We actually have a bliss body, okay? So I can't get too into that, but we have access to it. You have to go through, look into the koshas in the yogic tradition. So look into the koshas. I'm actually gonna close that. Look into the koshas, because they're actually just the layers of our body. So we have our physical, our mental, our emotional, our energetic, and then our bliss body or something like that. I have to look a bit more, but so there's X amount of bodies that we have, and they're called koshas. They're the layers of the body. So look into that and understand that like we have all the layers that need to be aligned before we can actually be at our highest potential. And it's like you can have knowledge in one area and not actually implement that knowledge, and so then you're still not balanced. Just because you have the knowledge doesn't mean you're balanced, right? And so actually implementing that and alchemizing the knowledge into wisdom and action, that's where like that's where the gold is, right? Okay, so that's that. I think I already went into the moon and stuff. I don't think I talked about this. So okay, so like on October 23rd, which that's in, I guess the 20th today, yeah, so in 3 days, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on Saturday, the sun is entering Scorpio. And I'm bringing this up because we're in Libra season right now and we're entering into Scorpio. So like have the awareness that astrologically we're entering into a new sun sign, and that's going to shift everything. On top of like this Aries full moon that's actually today, that's just peaked, we're now coming down on that energy. Which again, I'm just going to read over this real quick so that you can, if you aren't going to go watch that other video, you can understand what the Aries full moon's all about. So it's all about taking action. Sorry, I just kicked my thing again. It's all about taking action, right? And so like Aries is a fire energy. Aries is ruled by the head. So we're going to be very in our head, and like we're going to be very like rammy, like we're not gonna have a lot of patience. We're gonna want to just like see things happen now, and like that's just not how life works. So we are going to have to bring in that balance into this Aries full moon, which is happening right now, and we're gonna be in that energy for the next few days of it kind of like leaving us. And so be aware these next few days, like things are gonna be pertinent, like you are gonna feel them and you're not gonna be able to ignore them. And so this is going to allow for you in that contraction energy, like as you're like going within and you're struggling and you're having anxiety and you're in this space and you're thinking something's wrong with you, remind yourself you're just in the contraction. When you're in the contraction, you know that as deep into the contraction you're going to go is as far into the expansion that you're going to go. So the more that you clear right here in this contraction energy, the resistance energy, the part of you that you don't want to look at, that you don't want to see, if you just like peek behind the curtain and go, hey, I want to like see you, I want to hear you, I'm kind of afraid, but that's okay. And then your inner child will greet you with the most loving response that you can ever imagine, because there's that little child inside of you that's waiting for you to peekaboo, go behind that curtain and say, hey, I forgot about you and now I'm ready to connect with you again. And that is also going to be a solar plexus activation, right? To be able to connect to your inner child, your childlike nature, where you can connect to your innocence and you can connect to your awe and your wonderment of the universe, and you can be curious and you can ask questions and you don't have to worry about what other people are thinking. Like, God, what a beautiful life that would be, right? Work with your inner child and you can attain that, right? And that just comes with clearing the slate. That just comes with saying, this isn't serving me anymore. This isn't serving me, right? So it's all about action, this Aries full moon. It's all about movement. It's all about like having clarity. And like, it's almost like your body takes you through the motion without even having to think about it, because we're being guided right now. And that energy is so accessible to us, right? And there will be the other side of it where like you might like have no fucking idea, right? And so then that's the contraction for you. You're not in the expansion, you're in the contraction. So this is your time when you're going within to really take that time to go within and stop fighting it and stop being like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, no, just chill and go through the process, right? Okay, so the sun's entering Scorpio. So we're going from Libra, which is all about balance and kind of justice and, keeping the integrity of the scales. And then we have Scorpio. So we're going into Scorpio season, and Scorpio is a interesting sign because Scorpio represents our subconscious. It represents the material world. Scorpios are ruled by the genitalia, and that means that they're very oriented in sex ruling their lens of reality, but not just like sex. Like it's like, I mean, sexual energy is deep, but, like using it as power, right? And using it in a way that you manipulate and control people with. So this could be energy for the next month, from the 23rd on, when we're in Scorpio energy. These energies, the shadow self, the unconscious motivation, that's actually what I have written, the unconscious motivation of like why you're doing what you're doing, becoming aware, like why am I reaching out to this person? Why am I contacting this person? Why am I connecting with this person? And really going deep into your own subconscious, into the own parts of yourself that you don't have an awareness of yet, right? And so like opening up that space intentionally right now is going to allow for us to smoothly move into the transitions. Like I'm telling you right now, you are going to have sexual trauma coming up. You're going to have relationship stuff coming up. You're going to have stuff with your parents. This is the base, right? And so maybe that's why I'm bringing this up now, is because I told you this week we're being activated in these higher chakras. So then come Saturday, when we are going into the base, when we're going into Scorpio, we're going to be slowly for the next month kind of anchoring in these higher understandings into our lower self, right? Into our human self, into our sacral, into our womb, into our base, into our security, into our sexuality, into our sensuality, into all the parts of us, into our safety, security, like all of the parts of you that create your material world, right? And so again, not only like Scorpio represents the material world, right? And so, where is your focus? Again, back to that intention. Like, what is your intention behind kind of drawing these energies in and pulling them in, right? So here I have written, observe the death cycle in nature as the leaves fall from the trees in preparation for hibernation. We too are moving inward to confront our fears, explore deeper motivations, psychological complexes, and painful truths. And then I have, the more light we shine on our inner shadows, the greater our capacity for intimate and honest relationships, right? And so if we aren't going to be honest with ourselves and we don't know how to, here's a release, move forward from these situations that we're in, that we're struggling with, then we have to learn to be honest with ourselves. We have to learn to say, actually, yeah, maybe I haven't been being honest with myself, and I actually do need to, because there's some really, really big endings and cord cutting going on right now too. Because as I'm saying, we're like entering into this new cycle with the wrapping up this year, right? And so being able to wrap up this year in a way that covers all the bases, right? That at the beginning of next year, like, we're working on our foundation for the rest of the year. And that's why we're activating these chakras, so that we can work on actually embodying what it is that we need to embody, right? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there, guys. Oh man, no, I need to talk about the masculine. Okay, real quick. Okay, so basically, okay, so it's funny that how this all works, because now it's Wednesday. I would have recorded it on Monday and not had all this information, but now I have all this information that I've picked up over the last few days, and that I've experienced, and that I've embodied, and like even getting my hair cut and all of it, right? Like, I know it might sound silly, but it's all an analogy, right? And so I was under the impression, the message that I was really going to speak on was the masculine energy, healing, and rising. Oh good, my phone's here. I gotta check the time. Okay, cool. I actually have like 15 minutes before we have to leave. I'm going to look at like some truck van camper thing with my mom. She wanted me to go. So I was like, okay, I gotta go record this real quick. Okay, so basically the masculine is being activated for me. I took it as the collective, but now as I'm realizing, it's actually, I'm seeing the more holistic view. But I do also want to mention, like, masculine really is being activated, and that is like that protection energy, that, like, I'm going to say mama bear energy, because it actually, like, that is the masculine in the feminine. When we talk about the feminine having that protection energy, that's not to say, like, you know, there's masculine and feminine within masculine and feminine, right? So like, it's like an infinite dance between the two, which are actually the same thing, right? So basically the masculine energy is being activated, and that means that our protection, that our security, that our foundation, all these things are going to be coming up for us to realize, like, what is not actually like working for us, right? And so it's going to come up in the way of like finances, of your father, of your brother, of your any male counterpart in your life, whether it actually be a partner or like just a friend or whatever. These things are going to be in the light. And so like really like choosing to like slow down and again take that yin approach, go within and really like understand why things are coming up the way that they are, right? Ask yourself the question, say, where does this come from and why am I carrying this, right? And so this is the perfect time for it to be released. And so I also, like, not only I'm going to talk about the masculine, but it's like supporting the masculine, guys, like as the feminine, because, okay, basically the feminine is allowed to cry. The feminine is allowed to feel. The masculine is not. And they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. So like, honestly, at least the feminine has a way to manipulate their sexual energy and to be in a place where they are able to emotionally express themselves. And like, even though we're known for our emotions and stuff, and some might like take that as like a negative thing, like I'm like, well, hey, at least I was allowed to feel them, right? And whereas men are not allowed to feel their emotions, they always need to be strong and they always need to be like this, that, whatever. Now, quick little story. We have a buddy, Joe. He came and killed our chickens, and because they weren't doing good, they were not healthy anymore. We got them from a commercial farm, and basically we had them for 2 years, and like they were way past their date, and like they weren't really like healthy. They weren't walking. They weren't healthy. So mom and I didn't have the guts to do it. So Joe came and amazingly saved the day with this beautiful masculine energy, and he did the deed. And now our chickens are off into the universe and not stuck in their immobile bodies anymore. Okay, we still have 2, but anyway, I go outside after it all goes down. Intuitively, I didn't even know Joe was doing that, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, Joe? And he goes, oh, I just killed the chickens. And he's kind of freaking out a bit, but I can tell like he's trying to like, stay grounded and be like, yeah, it's all good, like da da da. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh my God, Joe. I was like, thank you so much for doing this. And I was just like, just give me a hug. And I was like, I can't, like, that would be traumatizing. Like, that was traumatizing, wasn't it? And he goes, yeah, actually it was a little bit. Like, yeah, it was pretty intense. And I was like, yeah. So like gave him a massive hug. And I was like, thank you so much, masculine, for showing up in my life. Because if you didn't show up and do that, then we would still have them suffering here. And as the feminine, like, I'm not going to go kill a fucking chicken. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so, like, to have that in our lives, to say, yeah, sure, I'll go do that for you. But then for them to be emotionally supported through it, to say, yeah, I understand, like, that's really intense, and I'm sorry you had to go through that, but thank you so much for everything that you're doing and that you've done. And I released that trauma in his heart in that moment. He didn't need to carry it subconsciously or unconsciously of thinking, oh, I can't feel these feelings because I'm a man and I'm not allowed to. No, it's like, hey, yo, I see you and I thank you and I honor you. So that's kind of like the analogy for like the masculine energy, and just like being able as the feminine, like, I know we're hurt, guys. Like, I understand the feminine's perspective too. I understand it all. But you know what? Like, pointing fingers and staying in war and thinking that they're the problem, then that's just not going to help anything. And so why don't we just bring awareness to the problems? Why don't we say, oh, you're not allowed to feel and we feel too much. So how about you guys learn to feel and we learn to how to filter our emotions properly, what they mean to us and what they're actually here guiding us to do. Because the reason we go crazy is because this is spirit working through us every month, shedding our physical blood, right? And so like, this is huge shed and purge every month that nobody really talks about, and that it is stamped with like a dirty sign, like, ew, gross. Like, no, like, this is my fucking sacred time, right? And when we learn like what it is that's sacred to us, like, a masculine energy has been in my life, but in different ways, right? And it was more on a spiritual level where like I understood a lot of like God through my dad not being here, but saying I'm always with you, right? And so that programmed into me that feeling that I know he's always with me, but I never had him physically. So now having Joe physically to be able to do that for us, and then for me to just honor the whole experience, it was huge. It was like a whole reset button, and it's really such a beautiful thing. So I wanted to explain that so that you can understand, like, say like you have a partner and they work every day and they're not emotionally available and you want to connect more, and then your sex gets involved in it and you're not having sex, and then this and then that and then the kids and then whatever. And it's like, have a softer heart. Like, have some compassion, have some love for you and your partner or whoever, your mom or your dad. Like, this is that heart chakra being activated that I was just talking about, right? So, okay, I think I want to do a whole video on this. That's what I think I'm going to do, because I really do have to get going, but I want to pull some cards. So I'm going to quickly pull some cards real quick. Real quick. I'm good at saying quick, but I'm not good at being quick. Okay, it's only 1:07. I got this. Okay. What do we got for this week, guys? Oh yeah, forgot to mention too, because I'm trying to get all this information out. So then I listened to EA, okay, Elizabeth April. If you don't know who she is, check her out on YouTube. She's fucking awesome. Watched her for a few years now, and wow, she's just amazing. So I was listening to her, and she was kind of doing something similar as what I do with her, like, energy updates. She doesn't call them that. She goes live on Mondays at 5:55, and that's just her little thing. Well, she was talking about the energy this week, and she was talking about how her feminine is being activated. And I was like, that's so funny, because, like, my masculine's being activated. And then I got the download, and I realized that actually it's our weaker duality, right? So say, like, your masculine's really strong and your feminine needs attention. It's going to be your feminine that's activating this week. Say that your feminine is good and your masculine needs activation, like me, right? Then my masculine is really going to be like at a higher caliber, right? So say you're used to go, and emotions have no place in your life, you're going to be jam-packed with that feminine energy of the emotional overload. Whereas if your masculine needs to rise, then you're going to have a lot more external changes going on with your finances, with your relationships, with different things, because you've already done that work of like, I listen to my emotions. I am in my feminine. I have done a lot of healing. I am listening. I am surrendering. I am trusting. But then there has to be the action portion of it. So now for me, the next step is to take the action. Whereas for EA, she's kind of in the energy where she is a very masculine girl. So in the way that she lives her life is what I'm saying. She's actually very cute and feminine, but in the way that she lives her life, she lives very masculine, meaning like she has a very good sense of this physical reality and how to navigate through it, right? And she's been working on her emotional side, and that's why she was talking about the feminine rising, right? So that was really cool to realize that I wouldn't have been able to tell you guys. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And if you don't know which one's more dominant, then that's your job, is to figure out what is more dominant, right? So let's see. Perfect. Fell right out. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Okay. Discipline. So discipline this week, death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Okay. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Okay, blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Stop blame shifting. You have to take responsibility. Okay, and those are pretty masculine energies, and here's the feminine now. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So realizing your worth, realizing your innate abilities to transform and alchemize in this reality, whether that be like you're a woodworker, or whether that be you help people with their emotions and you're a counselor, or whether that be like you like to make jewelry, or whether that be whatever it is. Listen to that part of you. Like, listen to the part that feels good finally for once in your life, right? Like, that's what you're being guided to do right now. And perseverance. So I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to, right? And so really purifying your mind and purifying your beliefs this week. Doubt is on the bottom. So doubt, I release the need to know all the answers, right? And so as we're purifying doubts out of our mind, and we're kind of, you know, activating that fire of self-esteem within us, and we're kind of shedding away all the blame, and we're taking responsibility. It's not my mom's fault, it's not my dad's fault, it's not this person's fault, it's not their fault, it's not anybody's fault that you are the way that you are. Like, you gotta evolve out of that victim mentality. And that's really like this week is like saying discipline yourself so that you stop thinking those thoughts, stop blaming on other people, work on your self-esteem, and understand that this is a death and it's a rebirth. So you'll be dying to the old versions of yourself. So service. I feel good when I can help others. And imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my mind. Right? So we're being asked to use our imagination for creativity instead of for worry and for detriment, right? So, and then service, right? So how can I be of service? Focusing on like, how can I be financially stable doing something that I love, right? And then peace is right there to greet us. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energies. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to actually pull the fairies out now, because the fairy energy has been really strong, and I just love fairies. So let's dive right in and see what they have to say. All right, let's see. Oh, and I've been writing and singing songs the last few days, so it feels so good. So there really is like this action around creativity too, which is the perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine. Okay, so we have stand your ground and miracle healing. So, holy shit, guys. So we have stand your ground and miracle healing reverse. So that's a block, right? So you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to like move forward from here? And you know what it is, guys? Connect to your motherfucking truth. Connect to who you are, and you will be so amazed at how the universe pulls through for you. Because when you believe, when you know your worth, and when you stop tolerating things, hey, it was 33, when you stop tolerating things that you realize aren't serving you anymore, look, making new friends, you make new friends, right? And you connect with new people, and like the fairy energy just really wants to tell you like how fun and magical life really truly is. And when you're turned off to that magic, which is your emotions, right? When you're not able to connect to your emotions and the magic of life, then we get into these ruts and these lower energies. Okay, perfect. So rise above problems, guys. That card there is saying that you need to shift your perspective, rise your perspective, raise your consciousness, right? And it happens in every moment, right? Oh, look, higher consciousness, just as I was going to put that in the deck. Look, guys, higher consciousness. The fairies are like, I want to help you. I really want to help you to access these things. Like, you can call on the angels, you can call on the fairies, right? And they're all just energy. So being able to acclimate to their frequency. We'll see, give me two for the masculine and 2 for the feminine. So we're going to do the masculine here first. And then we have, oh my God. And then we have the feminine here. Okay. Perfect, guys. Okay, so for the masculine, we have feeling safe, which remember, that is the masculine energy. It is feeling safe, right? Like being secure, being protected. And then we have peace of mind. Oh my God, if peace of mind means peace of heart. Okay, guys, so that means we're feeling safe in our mind and our heart. Your higher masculine wants you to do everything in your power to make sure that you feel safe, okay? That is really what the masculine wants this week. And then the feminine, so raising your standards, right? Which is what I was just talking about, of letting go what's not serving you. The feminine is saying, hey, like, you want different results, you have to do different things. So please do different things, is what they're saying. And that will increase. We have feeling safe, and we have peace of heart and mind. We have raising our standards. And then the result is financial flow, inevitably, because you're in tune, you're in flow, you're in alignment, you're in integrity. And when you're in the flow of the universe is abundant and will always provide. And it's only you, creative expression, just to support that, right? Just to support, to say, yeah, whatever it is that you want, like, you can have it. Beautiful. And family harmony. I want 2 more. Family harmony. Be honest with yourself. And romantic partner. Okay, guys, like some fucking serious wake up to shakeups this week, relationship wise. Just saying. Be aware, right? And this was reversed, so I received it reversed, which means there'll be a block. And I said, give me 2 more for relationship harmony, and it says, be honest with yourself about your romantic partner. Like, I don't know if it can get any more clear than that. So when I'm talking about taking care of your masculine and taking care of your feminine, this is why. Like, this is where we're getting honest. Maybe you're not meant to be with them, and that's okay, you know? Like, that's okay, and this is just a part of your journey, right? And I just want to get a few more out from this Angels of Atlantis deck, and then I legit have to go. Okay, because I just could pull cards all day long. All right, so I am just going to ask for 3 cards from this deck, 1 representing the masculine, 1 representing the feminine, and 1 representing our higher self connection. Okay, so the masculine is integrity, the feminine is divine intelligence, and the higher self connection is intuition. Okay, guys, so to connect to your higher self, you connect to your intuition, right? Of course. To connect to your divine feminine, connect to your divine intelligence, guys, your emotions, your body. Your body is so genius. Listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings. And then the masculine says integrity, and it says be in alignment with your truth, with your power, with your authenticity. Like, be in integrity, man. Like, that's what you have to do. You have to be in alignment with your head and your heart. And then mercy. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I gotta look that up. Mercy. Please have mercy on me. Take it easy on my heart. Okay. Mercy. Like, okay, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm singing a song using the word in the sentence because mercy, to be able to surrender. I'm not really sure. Let me read real quick mercy, and then I'm gonna go look at something with my mom. Okay, so this is Metatron, the supernal teacher. So mercy, the Oracle of Metatron beseeches you to explore ways of being merciful within yourself and in relation to fellow human beings in nature. Mercy is God-given and therefore channeled through the sovereign leader. It is then allowed to flourish through the garden of the meek. Therefore, if you harbor any negative issues such as anger, let go and live the life of your full power, your sovereignty, and express the implicit power of compassion. Be silent as you meditate on this oracle, and Metatron will bring you inspiration. Holy shit. That was a good way to end it. Good way, and then gratitude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this. Don't forget to like my videos, subscribe to my page. I put these out every week. Check out my Facebook, all my goodies, all that jazz. I hope that you guys have the best week. Thank you for being patient with me, but you see what just being patient with yourself does, and that way I was able to give you guys this beautiful information all in one go. Well, 2 goes, but you know, I already put almost 2 hours into it already with no recording. So here I am. I made it through. Even though it's Wednesday, you're still gonna have the information. It's still timeless knowledge. It was still a fucking juicy ass reading for the week. So I'm sending you guys so much love, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.